It's time for the first journey to Ongoro budget deck, and today we're kicking things off with a classic that's been modified for the new rotation. We're taking a look at Zoid. This is a affordable deck that is effective, that uses some of the new cards, that doesn't require one of the legendary quests. It ticks all the boxes, and you don't need the One Night in Karazhan adventure either. All you need is 1,840 dust in order to make this one work. And I found in the beginning of this expansion, you know, on the lower ranks, working my way up, this has been my deck of choice. I haven't played around with the fancy quests yet, but I'm quite enjoying my time with this. So it uses a lot of the old cards, but it gives it a fresh spin, because it has things like Devilsaur Egg and the Ravenous, whatever it's called. I can't remember, it's a new expansion. So this egg is a 0/3 that summons a 5/5, much like the Rubium egg was, if you remember that one from back in Naxxramas. It looks like we're playing against some kind of pirate, roguey style deck, and I'm not too happy about that, because it probably means that that I'm going to get run over. But I will hold on for dear life as much as possible. So basically I've been playing around with this deck a lot, and what inspired me to make this deck was this combo with the egg and with the new 4-mana Warlock card that eats a minion. It basically works a bit like Void Terror, except this one actually gets a bit more of a versatile effect, so just being able to adapt twice, which is what we'll see in a minute. Spoilers. It's pretty obvious it's going to happen though. Just being able to adapt twice means that this minion can basically adapt to a lot of different situations. You can turn it into a 7/7 sometimes, or sometimes you can have a stealth minion with +3 attack. It can be a 7/4 stealth. A lot of the time I go for things like +3 health and get the 2/1/1s when it dies as a death rattle. There's so many different combinations, and it applies to a lot of different situations, and when it comes out on turn 4, there's not really much the opponent can do about it. Now, in addition to that, when it comes out just after you play your Devilsaur Egg, not only do you get your 4/7 with Death Rattle summon 2/1/1s, you also summon a 5/5, which is pretty cool. So we're about to see that now. Let's see what adaptations we get. And I'm going to pick +3 health, because I think +3 health is a little bit more important than the others. And then from that, I think we can go +3 attack, because who wants a 4/10? Let's have a 7/7, because it's going to put a lot more pressure on the opponent. So that's a good example of how that card works, and that was just a net positive. Nothing bad came of that effect, really. And this deck does also have a lot of tokens in it, so even if you don't have your Devilsaur Egg out, you can use things like a Forbidden Ritual token, or a Possessed Villager, little beast thing that comes out of that. You've also got things like Bilefin Tidehunter, and a bunch of others that do summon tokens. I've even got things like Feeding Time in this deck, which is another new card, which works a bit like Implosion. It's just a more reliable Implosion, it's not as volatile, it costs 1 more mana, so it's not as good, because obviously Implosion could give you the same effect for 1 mana less, but we don't have Implosion anymore, so it doesn't really make sense to keep comparing things to things that we've lost in Standard. So we have to work with what we've got, and this is what I came up with. We've also obviously got the tried and the true Knife Juggler, which just got us free for free and demonstrated why I have Knife Juggler in the deck. So having things like Forbidden Ritual and Knife Juggler as mini combos can work to get board control. And remember, Zoid is all about keeping the board. We're not rushing the opponent down unless we're in a situation where rushing the opponent down would be the most likely way of winning. Usually this deck wants to get control of the board, kill the things that they have, and keep tempo, which basically leads to the win eventually, because you have things like Doomguard in order to finish the game. So Darkshire Councilman is also here. Darkshire Councilman can be involved in those little mini combos that I was talking about, so you can play the Councilman and then follow up with Forbidden Ritual and you'll give it some more attack. It also works with your Death Rattles, so if Possessed Villager summons another minion, or if Devilsaur Egg summons its Devilsaur, then that means that you're going to get a couple of procs on your attack on Darkshire Councilman as well. So there's a lot of mini synergies in the deck, which makes it feel pretty good and a lot of hands work. It doesn't feel very janky. It feels like most of my opening hands do lead to something that works. I don't have to kind of bend backwards in order to make some synergies actually happen. It's kind of already there. So in addition to that, we've got Direwolf Alpha and Defender of Argus in the deck in order to buff all of these tokens that we're summoning. it kind of acts as a good way to trade up into minions that have low health on the opponent's side of the board, but also you can use it as a way to accelerate your win if you're trying to deal a lot more damage as well. So I think I've got a nice balance here of things that summon more things and things that give those tokens more attack. So in this situation, I've just gone face because I realised I can get an extra attack off my Direwolf Alpha if I just pop that Doomguard right in the middle there. Good little tip if you haven't done that before. And skyrocketing into rank 15, almost at the greatest rank of them all. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know which one that is. So, I hope you enjoyed this initial budget deck for Journey to Un'Goro. There will be a lot more because this is the new standard year, which means I need to go back to all the classes and revise at least all of the things that we already had, or explore completely new deck archetypes, which will be tough because, like, all the new cards are legendaries that go in the new decks. But I'll look into it, promise, I'll do my best. So if you enjoyed this, hit like on this video, and of course, if you want to see more, stick around to Zoid Gaming and hit subscribe. See you next time.